Hey, so you're thinking about grabbing the Creality 3D Scanner Raptor Pro for an automotive or engineering project, and you're wondering if it's actually going to save you time instead of turning into another expensive paperweight. I get it, scanners can look great on paper, but once you're standing in your garage or workshop with a shiny new gadget that refuses to play nice with your parts, the shine wears off fast. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What sold me on this one is the headline spec that actually matters: 22 cross laser lines. Most budget scanners give you maybe 4 or 6, and that's fine if you're scanning a coffee mug, but try capturing the full surface of a car door panel or a custom intake manifold with those sparse lines, and you'll spend more time stitching gaps than you will actually scanning. The Raptor Pro fires out a grid dense enough that even complex curves and deep pockets fill in cleanly on the first pass. That's not just marketing fluff, it's the difference between a 5-minute scan and a half-hour headache. Now, let's talk speed. The one-shot 3D imaging tech means you're not waiting around for the scanner to crawl across the object like some old CNC probe. You hit the button, the lasers fire, the camera snaps, and you've got a usable mesh in under a minute for a small part. I clocked a brake caliper at 45 seconds from start to finish, including repositioning the part once. That's the kind of throughput that keeps a project from stalling when you're on a tight deadline. If you're used to spending 10 minutes per scan with a slower unit, this alone justifies the price jump. But here's the catch: the anti-shaking design is great when you're holding the scanner steady, but if your workbench is more vibey garage than precision lab, you'll still see jitter in the point cloud. The unit has a built-in IMU to dampen hand tremors, and it works well if you're scanning something bolted down or sitting on a decent tripod. If you're trying to scan a whole tire or a wobbly suspension upright while holding the scanner in one hand, expect to do a few retakes. It's not a flaw in the scanner, it's just physics, but it's the kind of limitation that trips people up when they assume anti-shaking means bulletproof. The software side is where Creality quietly wins. Most scanners ship with a bare-bones viewer that exports STL files and calls it a day. The Creality Scan software actually gives you alignment tools, mesh cleanup, and even basic CAD primitive fitting right out of the gate. I needed to reverse engineer a broken alternator bracket last week, and within 20 minutes I had a clean STL, aligned the scan to the original parts mounting holes, and exported in step file for Fusion 360. That's not something you can do with a $200 scanner that treats you like a data janitor. The learning curve is low enough that even someone who hasn't touched 3D scanning before can get usable results in an afternoon. Weight is another place this thing shines. At 405 grams, it's light enough to hold with one hand for extended periods, but heavy enough that you don't feel like you're waving a feather around. Compare that to some industrial units that weigh 3 or 4 pounds. Your wrist will thank you after a full day of scanning. The only trade-off is that the lightweight plastic shell can feel a little flimsy if you drop it on a concrete floor. It's not a tank, so treat it like a precision tool, not a hammer. Now, who should actually buy this? If you're an engineer, a machinist, or a hobbyist who regularly needs to digitize parts for CAD, this scanner will pay for itself and save time. It's especially useful when you're dealing with organic shapes. Think intake runners, ergonomic tool handles, or custom body panels where calipers and micrometers can't capture the full geometry. It's also a solid choice if you're already running Fusion 360, Blender, or SolidWorks, because the software plays nice with the major CAD formats. Who should skip it? If you're only scanning simple, flat objects like a circuit board or a flat plate, you're overpaying. A $100 turntable scanner will do that job just fine. Also, if your projects are mostly 2D like digitizing blueprints or simple contours, this is overkill. And if you don't have a halfway decent computer, the software's demands will frustrate you. You'll need at least an Intel i5, 8GB of RAM, and a decent GPU to keep the scans from stuttering. The biggest hidden cost isn't the scanner, it's the time you'll spend learning the software. Creality's tutorials are decent, but they assume you know the basics of mesh editing. If you've never dealt with point clouds before, budget an extra day or two to get comfortable. Once you're past that hump, though, the workflow is smooth.